Hi there, it's Steve at the Vintage Model Builds again, here with another review today. So, I recently received this in the mail. Actually, no, it was delivered by Amazon. And I'm kind of excited because, for two reasons. First of all, this is going to be my first 135 kit in decades. Almost 5 decades. And the other thing too is that I think this was one of the few Tamiya 135 armor kits that I didn't build back in the day. So anyways, so it'll be very interesting. It's a kind of an interesting subject. And like I said, it came delivered by Amazon. No issues at all with the packaging. The box is almost perfect. There's a tiny little crease there, but that could have come from taping it. And as you can see, the tape's been on there for quite a while. So this kit was tooled in 1976, and this box is from 1988. But I guess it's the original tooling. And that, you know, 76, that would have been right around the time where I started kind of drifting away from making models. So this would have been one of the newer ones, which may be why I didn't build it. So, in any case, I got the opportunity to now. So, we'll go over the box. Like I said, you know, it's nice box art. I don't see a signature, but it looks like somebody drew it. It doesn't look like a lithograph or a photo of the model, although it might be. Okay, so box from '88. Like I say, you can see the old tape on there. And this is Tamiya catalog number 35087-2500. And it's the Sturmgeshutz 4, and that is Assault Gun 4, and SDKFZ or Z, depending on where you talk from, 163. So these were also known as the Stug, STU capital G, and there were two versions, the Stug 3 and the Stug 4. Almost the same, but the Stug 3 was on a Panzer 3 chassis, and the Stug 4 was on a Panzer 4 chassis. So, and SDKFZZ it stands for the German word Sonderkraftfahrzeug, which means special purpose vehicle, and 163 would be the special purpose vehicle number. For example, the Hanomag was the SDKFZ Z250, so special purpose vehicle 250. All makes sense when you know what you're talking about. Okay, so we'll get more into the history and the details and stuff, but we'll go step by step here. So we've got the usual thing, 135 Military Miniature Series, number 87, with a figure, and with the side armor plates as well. It says here, modeling skills helpful if under 10 years of age. I'd probably say 12, but there's some pretty bright 10-year-olds out there. Same stuff here in Japanese. On the side here, we've got other kits 135 kits that they offer. This is kind of the old style of doing things. And nothing special on the sides. Over here it shows the model and the figure, but everything's in Japanese. Alright, so let's open it up and see what we got here. Okay, I think the scheme here is for the Africa Corps. I think the scheme is for Africa Corps. That's why they've molded it in this kind of khaki color. So we got the main body of the assault gun. We've got 2 bags of sprues. Everybody's favorite vinyl tracks. These are separate. They're not on a sprue of their own, which is good. You don't have to trim up and they look nicely detailed. Yeah. So we'll set those aside. Here's the instructions. Get to that in a minute. Handy tips, tech tips. Well, I don't know, there's some kind of warning here. It says, make sure to heat sprue with PS marking. PS in the corner. Other sprue may generate poisonous gas if heated. Caution, incomplete combustion of sprue generates black smoke. Be careful not to inhale. Sprue is a combustible material. Be careful not to start fire and burn yourself. Okay, that's always a good idea. Okay, so I don't know if that's just a general thing, or if it's for the little antenna that you're going to have to heat and do that. But in any case, anytime you're dealing with open flame or heating things and flammable liquids, if you're a younger modeler, under the age of 14, you want to make sure to have adult supervision. And of course, if you're a novice, you should always have adult supervision with stuff like that. Sharp knives, all the stuff. Okay. And then we get a nice, what's this? Okay. Thought we had the instructions. Well, now, looks like they were good enough to give us 2 sets of instructions. Okay, there we go. 2 sets of instructions, so that takes care of that. I don't think there was supposed to be a color insert here. But maybe I got 2 instructions instead of color insert. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we'll take a look here. And we get the usual legal stuff in all the languages. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. There we go. Okay, and Tamiya still staples all their stuff. Don't get Peter Oxley started on Tamiya staples. Anyways, here we go. Decal set here. Looks like there'll probably be some extras. Wheels and sprockets. Spacers. Wheels, end panel, one of the side panels. I'm not seeing any flash whatsoever, even on the wheels. No parts are bent or broken on these sprues. Well, there's one that's kind of bent off a little bit. But that might have been me when I took it out. So, anyways, it's not broken. And it's just bent at the joint. Okay, so there's that. Alright, here we've got the there we go. At the top part of the assault gun. Nice detail. The figures here. Gee, he's a good size. Yeah, so 135, yeah, that's a good size. That'll be an easy figure and fun figure to paint. We got the RAF lady here from the, still got a bit of work to do on her, little touch up. That's going to be for the Spitfire diorama. And painted up these little guys for the World War I male tank diorama. It's going to be Diorama City around here. Okay, and so yeah, so we've got that, and then we got the side plates and the suspension parts, all very nicely detailed. Rivets, panel lines. Again, no flash. So pretty straightforward. Take a break for a sip of tea. Yeah. Okay, everything is in black and white, as Tamiya often does. And they got quite a nice little write-up here. The Sturmgeshutz storm or assault gun. Sturm is the German word for storm. It's where we get stormtroopers from. And basically, it's a self-propelled gun used later in the war in various roles, mostly as tank killers, but they were also used for other assaults, supporting infantry. So the Sturmgeshutz was developed in the 1936-1939 period to provide armored support for the infantry. This came about largely because the new tanks being produced were designed for the Panzer armored divisions. In a battlefield situation, there was no guarantee that tanks from an armored division would be available to support the infantry. Thus, the idea of the assault gun regiment, organic to an infantry division, came about. The new assault gun developed was based on the Panzerkampfwagen III, designated Sturmgeshutz III. The assault gun had a low superstructure with the main armament mounted on the superstructure front and given limited traverse. Pre-production vehicles were battle-tested in the invasion of France in May 1940 and then ordered into large-scale production. The original idea was for a vehicle able to give fire support for the infantry, but it was soon discovered that an anti-tank capability was even more important. Later models of the Stug 3 led to the Stug 40 in early 1942, and Stug 3 with either a 7.5 centimeter Sturmkanon 40L/43 or later a Sturmkanon 40L/48 in 1943 production. In 1943 production of the Panzerkampfwagen III was phased out as being at the end of its development as a gun tank. Because of the great losses of tanks on the Russian front, General Guderian suggested that Stug 3 vehicles be used to tank divisions as they were cheaper, simpler, and quicker to build than tanks. This would have created an even bigger increase in Stug 3 output, which was already insufficient to meet demands. So it was decided in a conference with Hitler in November 1943 to use the chassis of the Panzerkampfwagen IV. The object was to use this new Sturmgeshutz IV for the Panzer divisions. This would greatly simplify maintenance, as the Panzer divisions were all equipped with the Panzer IV tank by now. A prototype was ready in a month, using a superstructure from Stug 3 production output. As the Panzer IV chassis was 46 centimeters longer and 8 centimeters lower than the Stug 3, it was necessary to weld in an extra forward deck plate and superstructure side strips to fill the gaps. On the left front of the superstructure, an armored box with 2 periscopes and a hatch was built forward to cover the driving position. Production started in December 1943. Krupp Gruson at Madisburg were the builders. Total production was about 1,000 vehicles. Stug 4s were equipped the 3rd battalions of some tank regiments in place of tanks. So I guess at that point, a tank regiment had 2 battalions plus a 3rd of Sturmgeschütz. Alright, so Zimmerit anti-magnetic coating was common, and I guess that's like an anti-mine kind of thing. And some had ferroconcrete added on the superstructure front for added protection. It was a crew of 4, and the combat weight was 23 tons with a top road speed of 24 miles per hour and 15 miles per hour cross country. So that's it. So, everything looking good with the kit. No complaints. A bit odd to get 2 sets of instructions, but that's okay. So we'll put those back together. back in the box. Oh, not before we review the instructions. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay. Alright, so one nice thing Tamiya doesn't always do is they give you a sprue inventory or sprue map here. And they also list the parts. How about that? So we've got 44 and 44 is 88, 93, 103, 107. Looks like 117 parts. And here we start with the upper part of the hull. Oh, wait, here we go. Where am I going? Okay, here we go. So we got 1, 2. We start by putting the sprocket wheels together. 1, 2. Then we get down to the suspension, step by step. Gives you an overhead view of how to fix the wheels because they interlock and overlap. Some nice close-up references. Paint guide for the figure. Step by step by step. There we go. They give you an overhead of the upper part of the hull, how it's supposed to look. Unfortunately, you don't get color, but I think it's kind of it's the yellow brown with some greenish brown. I think we'll see about that later. Then we got little doodads and accessories that go on the upper part of the hull. Everything that attaches. The gun. And 13 steps altogether. And then they show you how to, I don't know whether they advise to hot knife it or what they say. Yeah. You connect the tracks by heating. And it says if track broden, I think it means broken. Strengthen with staplers or thread. Or super glue. Okay, and last at the back here, we've got the paint guide, dark yellow. And they just show the yellow, they don't show the camouflage here, which is kind of strange. So, it says on the side note there were no fixed camouflage patterns. I guess it was up to the crews how they camouflaged it. They freely put red, brown, and or dark green, or the basic color by means of brushed or spray guns. Yeah. So it looks like if there was any camouflaging to be done, they did them. Doesn't make much sense to, for after D-Day to have them in the yellow-brown. But I guess things were getting tight back then for the Germans. And it was easier for them just to paint them all the same color and get them out there. Okay, so very pleased with that. Everything's in good shape. 1/4 point off for no color, except what's on the box here. So a 9.75. I'll look forward to building this. I don't think it'll be a very complicated build. It looks pretty simple. So that'll be the first in my 135 stock. Showed you the figures. There's a little update on the Spitfire. Getting it decaled. The decal's done. The chipping here. And you can't really see them, but you know, there's the little decals. Little decals here shows the walkway. There's a lot of really tiny decals for this. So I save that for the OCD time. Yeah. Alright, so thanks for joining me for this little kit review. And so I'll be putting this up soon. And after the live stream on Sunday, we'll see which 172 kit I'm going to build next. So thanks to all my subscribers. I'm up to 80 now. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone who joins me and spends time here. I hope you find it useful and interesting. And that I can show you some techniques that you can use yourself. So thanks again and have a great day.